Thank you, and first of all, thank you for this invitation. It's a pleasure to come back to Egypt. As said, IMEC has been designed as a transformative connectivity concept and project for the next decade. A transformative project because it was part of the Abraham Accords. And also it was seen as a concept to deepen the partnership with some BRICS countries, and mainly India. But just to bring everybody on the same page, it is important to come back to the timeline and think that the signature of the MOU happened 3 weeks before 7th of October. So this juncture has also disrupted the whole process of structuring of the initiative. The important point is that IMEC is progressing. It's particularly progressing over the past few months under the coordinated effort of the most active countries which were part of the initial signatories. Just as a reminder, for the signatories, you had 8 countries: India, the US, Team Europe, the European Commission, Italy, Germany, France, and for Gulf, Emirates, and Saudi Arabia. So in last August, you had the first steering committee happening in New Delhi, gathering the signatories, where actually the framework, governance framework of IMEC has been established at 3 levels: a ministerial level, a steering committee at Sherpa or key representative level, and technical working groups, which are actually, we will focus on the different sectorial categories, which are, since you have an energy pillar for energy connectivity, digital connectivity, transport of goods, financing also, which will be explored, and one overarching group which will deal with feasibility studies, which is also a preliminary phase, which is very important to move forward, and the political coordination. So it is important to think that the kickoff of the collective governance just happened a few months ago. The second steering committee happened 3 weeks ago on the sidelines of the Global Gateway Forum. It was chaired by the European Commission. Things are progressing. I would like to build on the different comments because I think IMEC is an evolutive concept. There is the initial terms of reference, and a lot of countries which are on the route are relevant to the concept will be at some point around the table. We can think about Oman, and we can also think about Egypt. I will not mention the difference. It is also the same for the Mediterranean with Cyprus, other countries, Malta. And as you mentioned, since the very beginning, the vision of France was that Egypt should be associated to IMEC. As mentioned by Amita, we've seen the different networks as a complementary routes. And IMEC now is evolving with this concept of networks of connectivity to leverage existing hubs. So this is, with my visit today, the 3rd time that the French IMEC vision mission visited Egypt. We came in February with a special envoy to prepare the vision. During the state visit of the President Macron, the official strategic partnership mentioned that France will support IMEC, Egypt joining IMEC. They will encourage them to explore the different relevant interconnection points, because we are talking about the Suez Canal, but other options and ports. Port Said, Port of Alexandria are also part of the picture. And I would like to say that the report that you released with the ORF is very instrumental in building all the data and the different aspects that could be part of different scenarios around IMEC. So it's a positive concept. It will be a platform to develop new networks for connectivity. And this is really the way, the philosophy of IMEC in which we are progressing today. Of course, and Gérard Mestrallet has been the first special envoy nominated in November 2023, and he has made 1 year on bilateral engagement. And you see also trilateral engagement. Team Europe is working and coordinating the effort. You see already proof of concept between India and the Emirates through the virtual trade corridor. So you might have different layers and active players to push forward IMEC. This is still the pre-project phase. And I think what has been shared among the Sherpa was that we need to consolidate this phase. And just to build upon the financing need, we also need an accurate financing infrastructure gap analysis. The first figures circulating after the signature of the MOU were mentioning a financing gap about $500 billion. And the recent release of the Atlantic Council a few months ago is now stating about an estimate of $5 billion, which makes sense because IMEC is part of existing infrastructure. Investments that are already underway is financed by national infrastructure development. In India, for instance, Mundra Port is financed at the national levels. This is the case also in the Emirates. And the concentration of the missing links are actually in the Middle East, so in Israel, Jordan, and the railway connection in Saudi Arabia. So we also need to have this project-driven approach and to involve the private sectors. We didn't mention it before, but this will be a key success factor because they will be acting as developers but also financiers.